So let's go on to the next thing that you can give your assistant, which is project management. So I'm gonna start off with a scenario and let me know if this sounds familiar. You get off a call and say that you're going to complete 4 tasks at the end of the call. Then you sit down and write down those tasks and you can only remember 3. And earlier I recommended keeping your assistant with you on calls. That's something I keep going back to. Again, I cannot stress it enough. But let's take it a step further. So have them set up a tracking software for your action items. So I personally like Asana. So I'm going to be talking about Asana in this video, but you can use another software like Monday, ClickUp, or Jira in order to keep these tasks transparent and make sure you're hitting all your benchmarks. So here's a step-by-step guide on how you would guide an assistant, or how you would have an assistant set up Asana effectively. And again, this is also going to be in the packet. We're gonna have templates in the packet as well. So step 1 is to set up and create an account. So you're gonna wanna go to Asana's website and sign up for an account. And you can honestly create a free account for this use case. If you really like it, upgrade. And you're gonna complete the registration, provide necessary details, email, company name, team size, etc. Pay attention, just don't run through these. Step 2 is you're gonna create a punch list. So I like to start with a list. And I call this list the today list. So this should be all the immediate action items and who is doing them. So your assistant's gonna be doing this entire process. And it is 100% worth it for the first task your assistant does in the morning to be this punch list. So they're gonna make a list of everything that everybody in the company needs to do, or everyone on their team. So yourself, colleagues, and the assistant. And so everyone's also gonna be able to see this, so that you can track what every single person on your team is doing and see what your assistant is doing. And this creates a lot of responsibility. So each morning, your assistant should sit down, take a look at the board or calendar, and move items onto the punch list, which is the daily list. And that's gonna keep things moving and make sure every single things are getting completed. So that brings us to the board, like I just mentioned. So the board is for multiple step projects. So for example, when you get out of a meeting and you create a few action items that have to be done in a sequence, those are all items that would go on the board. And the board should start with foundational items, mid-size items, and then finishing touches. And this board is also a great place to store any to-do items that are far in the future or require an approval process. So the board is going to be for really overall tracking long-term projects. And we have some Asana board examples that your assistant can copy from our packet, but every morning they should look at the board and see what needs to be moved to the punch list, which is your day-to-day to-do list, and what items on the board need to be broken into smaller steps so that they can be on a future punch list. And this is going to make sure that you're keeping track of larger items. And then in Asana, you're also going to want to have a project calendar. So the project calendar is also going to be part of the morning check-in process, and it should only contain the bid project due dates. So they're going to want to cross-reference the board and make sure enough pieces of the board are being completed in time and assigned to the punch list in order to finalize the project. And this should also be part of your assistant's daily task, so that they recognize when a project is getting close and they can either help you slow down and focus on quality, or speed up if necessary. And then additionally, you're gonna wanna also have them document everything. So documentation is a great guideline. I'd highly recommend having the documentation process of your entire Asana, put it into a blank Google document that is stored in a standard operating procedures folder. All of this is in Asana, and we have multiple template recommendations as well as some Asana guidelines, which is going to get them started on that documentation project. But documentation, utmost importance, especially when dealing with Asana, invoicing, P&L, balance sheet, any of the above. Everything needs to be documented and how they're doing everything. Again, we're giving you some of that documentation to start with, but your assistant's going to need to add their own flair as well and make it relevant to your business, as well as keep it updated absolutely regularly. And I cannot recommend Asana enough. It's really helped our team optimize, and again, it keeps you in sync. if you have one person who every single day is looking at the entire project from a broad perspective, from a more micro level, and then something kind of in the middle. That's going to help keep you on track and get things assigned properly.